Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we got a game in the Yukikaze. Of course, she was released last week, and I figured I'd show off one more game. This one on North, coming from my Friday stream. So if you don't know, I stream on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is one of the games from the Friday stream. But before we go ahead and keep talking, let's go ahead and talk comment of the day. Comment of the day goes out to someone who leaves a comment on one of our previous videos. Today's comment of the day goes out to Mecha Man 13. He says, anyone else got the skin for the gearing? Or just me? Let me tell you, I wish I did. That thing looks so pretty. I'll put a photo up of it right now. Whew! She looks good. It's almost tempting enough to buy more Stellar crates. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, here we are on North. Two destroyers on each side. So really, when we're playing the center, I feel like we have like a 50-50 shot if a destroyer is going to try to contest this middle point. But we're a destroyer. We need to play the objective. Yes, we're the Yukikaze. Yes, we're a Japanese torp boat, but we still have a duty and an obligation to at least try to take the objective and set ourselves up so that we have a way to escape if someone decides to challenge us. And look here, we got some widespread torps that almost quite get us, but thankfully we're able to get out of the way. Akazuki over there, pretty clever on his, we'll just throw some torps down. He did almost catch us out. No one can see us, so we're going to go and fire our guns. One of the few times that it feels safe to do so, just because you don't really want to be firing your guns too much. They are okay at dealing with other destroyers, just because you do have a fairly significant HE damage in the Yukikaze per shell. But beyond that, it's very much a supportive gun. It is not your primary armament. Primary armament on this thing, of course, being those torpedoes. And let me tell you, those torpedoes hit like a truck. Anyways, we catch B, and now we have the option, do we go B or do we go C? And at this point, we know the enemy destroyer, the Akazuki, is going to be over on that right side. And we see that they have 4 ships over there, and we got a battleship who just got himself blown up, and a cruiser. And if we don't want that side to totally collapse, it is now our job to read the map and realize, oh, we now need to go ahead and start harassing and pushing over on the left-hand side of the map, over on that A side. C side seems to be handling itself. One part is being pushed into by a battleship, but we do got a destroyer out there. We got several battleships. Our job right now is going to be play the objective, play smart, and at this point, spot and drop torps. That's going to be what we're going to want to do, and we're going to do that over on the A side and just try to prevent our whole flank from collapsing and stop them from being able to access broadsides for the entire team, because that could get pretty ugly and fairly dangerous for the number of battleships that we still have up. Prince Eugen takes out the Surrey over on this side, so now it is really us and a battleship that is going to try to hold this flank. And here we go. Not going to be a smart play to go where the ships were around the right-hand side of the island. We need to go where the ships are going. It is easier to hit a target with torpedoes if you get in front of them. So for us, that means we are going to go ahead and play on our side. We could have snuck around to the back behind him, but then we'd very much be chasing them with the torps, and that leads to all sorts of problems. So it's going to be a much better play for us to go ahead and play the objective up front, play it on this side, and have the enemies run towards us. Kind of right now, just trying to see where that Tirpitz is going to be, because right now, Destroyer v Battleship, that's going to be our primary matchup, our best matchup. But I do want to go ahead and take a look at what is undoubtedly Akazuki. We know he is a gunboat, so we are going to go ahead and now kind of blind fire our torpedoes. We can see, one, he's not firing full broadsides, instead kind of rattling off like a machine gun, and he's very close to the front of the smoke, which means we can very easily tell where he is. One, he's definitely full broadside, and 2, he's definitely not moving. So because of that, we easily get that dev strike right there. 2 of our torpedoes hit, and we eliminate one of the bigger threats, that being another Japanese destroyer. Now Tirpitz coming around, and we need to start playing this smart. Indianapolis taking up the position in the far back, just trying to be the supportive cruiser, making sure the Tirpitz is taking that tank role, that deep, and absorbing what shots he can. So we're going to need to sort of plan our hits. Thankfully, we get another torpedo hit there, not on the Tirpitz, but on a different ship. At least we're doing decent. We're doing some decent amount of damage. Most likely, I think that was on the Prince Eugen, if I recall. We just can't quite see him right now. And we're going to start just trying to be far off, try to spot around the smoke. We do have a Richelieu who is pushing in with us. Thankfully, he understands that we're gonna be in trouble if we don't start pushing. And we're just kind of keeping our waiting on this point Prince Eugen to pop back up. And there he is. We'll go ahead, and this is where we need to make a call because he has such low health. Is it worth it for us to go ahead and launch a torpedo salvo, especially when we're seeing, but of course we do, just as an insurance, and I instantly regret it. Like, at the time I was thinking, is it worth it to fire this torpedo salvo? I have a minute and change reload time on this. I am going to now potentially waste my DPM, but if that Prince Eugen gets free, he could definitely hunt us down. But at this point, it's one of those things, and I think at that point we probably shouldn't have fired it. It's going to hamper us a little bit on our DPM. Indianapolis, personally at this call, I'm saying he is playing backlines. He doesn't think anyone is really targeting him, so he's not really paying attention. So we're going to go ahead, just fire the torpedoes on that string, and hope he sort of alleviates and leaves the area and just keeps sailing straight, thinking that he's going to be safe, thinking he's getting better and better access to the broadside of that Richelieu, because that's definitely what he's fixated on right now. That Richelieu's a big, juicy target, and we're going to let him keep focusing on it. Richelieu, sadly, is she's down to about half health. We do get a hit over on the Indianapolis, and then he gets sunk, so he is taken out. And now that 4 ships to 2 ships a battle that was taking place is now down 2-1, and we have reversed sides. We have definitely turned the tide, if you will, on this battle. We're going to go ahead, take a little bit of a risky move, kind of use the Richelieu as a meat shield and let it absorb damage. Takes 2 torpedoes from the Tirpitz there, but we're just trying to inch up, get in a way, and unfortunately Richelieu goes down, and Tirpitz now sees us. So at this point, we need to get out of here. We're gonna go ahead, fire off 1 torpedo salvo, switch to wide, then maybe not, decide not to, see where Tirpitz is gonna turn, and then fire off our other salvo, and then get out of here, making sure we don't fire our gun just so that we can keep that sub 5 kilometer detection range. Because at this point, it's 3v3, and we do, in theory, have the advantage. I'm no longer spotted. I'm capturing A. Now we are down 2-3, so this is going to start to get close. But we're capturing A. We're about to have A. We have plenty of time to come back. They have battleships, so if we can go ahead and start chipping away at their battleships, which thankfully I can do. Now we're down to 2-on-2 now, but thankfully I'm able to start chipping away, and because of the sheer stealth, concealment, whatever you want to call it, on the Yukikaze, I will be able to thankfully stay hidden for the rest of this match and not really take the hits that I potentially could. And Tirpitz is being smart. He's saying, I don't want to go ahead and push, but I think it may have been his best option. Yes, he probably would have sacrificed himself coming down, but I don't have torpedoes for now. He could have begun the push, prevented A from turning, done things like that, which would have at least applied pressure to me. At this point, I don't have any pressure. I have tactical options aplenty, right? I could start chasing him down, though I'm not going to do that because, as we talked about earlier, you don't chase ships to torpedo them. You intercept ships to torpedo them. You want to get in front of them. You want to get on their path of travel. Yes, we have 80 knot torpedoes, and yes, that is really quick, and they will be able to catch some ships, but in order to reduce the chance of a ship making the turn that's going to allow them to dodge, in order to reduce those chances, you want to be on intercept points, intercept paths, and we know Tirpitz thinks A is a no-go zone for him now. So that means the only smart play for him is to go to B. He could try to go out to C and just kind of wipe his hands clean, but I think most people are going to try to win. And at this point, we are definitely closing that points gap, especially with our teammate sitting in C. With our teammate sitting in C, they are also not gaining any points at all. So we are really starting to gather some steam, gather our way down. And Turpitz is realizing this and starting to make the turn in towards B, try to cap B. I mean, he is still Turpitz. He still can be a somewhat brawling battleship. So we are going to have to be careful on this and just kind of wait it out. Now, we do have kind of two options here. And one is we could, in theory, stop behind in here and ambush him on the corner. And personally, I think that is really risky. I was really tempted on it, but then I thought about it. And at this tier, he most likely has that extended range RGA ability, i.e. instead of a guaranteed 2-kilometer detection range, 2.5, which is well within this little circle, and especially now that we see that he has bringing a plane up, we are going to get spotted while we still wanted to be stealth. So we need to just put the hammer down, turn out, and try to intercept some torps on him as he pushes into the cap instead of doing the ambush as he pushes into the cap. It's one of those tough calls because you're like, oh, I definitely think we could do this. He pops up there. We are still thankfully out of the detection range. We send one salvo in, and we're going to go ahead. We feel like he's going to turn out because he knows he's been spotted. So we're going to lead those second pair of torps way in front of the indicator, or not way in front of the indicator, just in front of the indicator, knowing that he's going to turn out. And there go first set of torps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is gone. Didn't even need the second set. Those Yukikaze torps, heaviest damaging torps at the tier. They hit like trucks, and I'm still using Tanaka, which means they hit even harder. Of course, with this most recent event, with the Stellar Clash event, you could choose, you could get the Fishy, which was essentially a Tanaka clone, and at that point you are trading torpedo speed for torpedo damage. And there's an argument to be had for both. I think technically you may want to go with the torpedo speed, but I like it, like, if I'm already hitting at such extremely high damage amounts, the percentage gain on that is going to be even more because it is a flat percentage gain on the torpedo damage rather than a knots gain, which is what it is for the Fishy. So on slower torps, or on weaker torps, it may make sense to run Fishy, but as far as I'm concerned, for Yukikaze, I'm going to stick to Tanaka just because he already has torps that hit like a truck. They hit like a dump truck. They take people out. We don't really need to buff the speed. They're already decent at 80. So there's that. Anyways, here we go. We have our final torp, and we only have a minute left. So this is going to be our one and only torp strike. We can either fire it, and hopefully it hits. We lead just a little because we hope that the Colorado is going to turn in and therefore shorten the radius of his turn, tighten in, and move the indicator. And he seems to be hunting down our fellow cruiser, so not really paying attention to where we could be. And he is at full health. Let's go ahead, see this hit, and here we go. Lead was good. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and that's another death strike to end the game. Decent hits, decent damage, and another fun game in the Yukikaze. Guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Go ahead, follow me on all my social medias. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch. All of those links down in the description box below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.